Have you ever felt as if you were smack up against a brick wall with no place to turn? Maybe you're banging your head against the wall and it's raining outside relentlessly with no end in sight. Well, I've heard a number of folks, educators and students, who indicate that this might be how they're feeling as we begin to shift our instruction from in-person to online very quickly during this brief period. But hang on, I see opportunity. I believe that we can make it, that we can improve our online instruction, capture the attention of our audiences, help them feel like they're getting out of the rain, or see that the rain is going to lead to like beautiful spring flowers and a garden like mine right over there. It's coming. And one way we can do that, even online, is by asking good questions. So let's jump in. Asking good questions. My premise here is if you toss out random off-the-cuff questions to your students, you'll not be challenging them to move, for example, up Bloom's hierarchy, where you want to engage them significantly, de-think in that taxonomy of learning. You're missing the opportunity for that engaged, higher level learning and growth. So what can we do about it? Well, today, I just want to situate asking good questions in our online teaching and also in life, kind of remind us how to bring that in-person Socratic method to the new online delivery for this period. I want to review Bloom and Fink and Cook's 8 Smarts, and then I want to look at the really simple See, Think, Wonder. I love it. It's so simple. You can do it. You can add it to your next online engagement, whatever that might be. All right, so why does asking good questions matter? If we were in a synchronous online class or even if I were filming this, I would still say pause and think about this for a second. What explicitly do we gain by proffering good questions? Jot an idea or two down, and then we'll discuss it. Now you can do this in a discussion board, in a breakout room, using a Zoom type platform, in chat boxes. There are a number of ways to do that. And the whole purpose here is we're learning together by asking, by doing the question techniques. The context here. So in general, I'll talk about education context in a minute, but in general, what makes a question good? We're trying to engage people, make the audience think, but without overwhelming them too much. We want to move past the starting point. We're trying to go somewhere most likely. You've got to put some effort into a good question to respond. And that effort is not in calling up Google. No, what's the phrase? If you can Google the answer, it's not a good question. We're trying to increase interest in the material, emphasize important ideas. Now, in the education context, what makes a question good? We're building on existing or new knowledge. Think about experiential relevancy. We're trying to advance a logical progression of some sort to move our students' thinking forward, checking on their assumptions. Maybe we don't know what all they're bringing into the classroom. Depending on the subject, it's going to vary greatly. Maybe they have misconceptions, or they might need to ask additional questions to clarify their learning. Experiential, empirical examples, that empirical adequacy. What are we trying to gain by showing them through a series of questions? We situate questions in all of our aspects of life. So let's think about this just for example, a couple of examples: personal, leisure, work, home, faith, volunteering, whatever it may be, and teaching. So here's our president. I love this game. President Drake is undertaking a questioning process situated in leadership. He's talking to a good friend of mine and colleague, Susan Colbert, about her impact in her work in community development in the neighborhood around Ohio State. A great process for him to learn and engage and show that leadership. Questioning process situated in leisure. What are some of your favorite foods when traveling? I ask that. I love to ask people that. Do you worry about getting sick? Oh, we just moved to a different level of engagement. But you see kind of where that goes. How about situating the question in teaching? So this was, I guess, just a month ago almost. I was in the Ohio Stadium. This is the band room for the marching band, and I love these kids. They're just amazing. And it's their honorary service organization with bands from all across campus. And I asked them the bucket list question. Do you have a bucket list? Well, you know, you're thinking about dying, right? But then we broke that down and saw how that could really be motivating and good. Not to be morbid, but to think about what matters. It was a good engagement session. So again, a questioning process in teaching. So today I want to situate asking good questions in teaching, especially online. Then talk about how we can explore and remember Bloom and Fink and Cook and Socrates even. So, Socratic, I'm going to blow through this really quick because you know this stuff. We're educators. We've thought about it. We've read it. But just the basics in the Socratic method to clarify and explore, to challenge assumptions. Is that always the case? To look for that evidence, that empirical evidence as a basis for an argument. Or to look at alternative viewpoints and implications. What are the consequences? What might happen? What would result? Moving their thinking along. Again, in review, when we use questions in teaching, research shows that teachers spend maybe half their time asking questions, but are they effective in raising achievement? Why do we ask? Again, like the Socratic slide, we're trying to involve them and increase their motivation or interest, develop those critical thinking skills to get to mastery of the objective that we've outlined in our lesson plan. What types of questions? So Bloom, you guys know this, knowledge, comprehension, kind of the basis. This is the original taxonomy that he proffered. Application and analysis, and moving forward a little bit. Synthesis, I'll give you an example of this in a minute. And then evaluation in the new way. Actually, I have it right here. Creativity. So the foundational, remembering, understanding, and then moving our students to apply and analyze and evaluate, and ultimately create. Good stuff. But we don't always pause to think about this. We may just ask questions off the cuff. All right. Think. If you've read Fink's taxonomy, significant learning is very similar. Foundational knowledge, and then how do you apply that, integrate it, include the human dimension and the caring piece, and then learning how to learn, that meta-cognitive level that we're hoping to push our students for. And then you can read a little more on this if you like. It's all good stuff. So my contention is we can do this online. So let's talk about how. Wait time. So in classroom, how, that awkward silence. Online, you may need to extend that a little bit. As you're doing feedback, redirecting, probing, you need to remember a couple of things. You may be, your response may be to redirect the students or probe for the additional information, but don't be vague. That's not right, or try again. And of course, validating. Again, online, this still works. You can do it with synchronous quite easily. In asynchronous, be careful of how your text or your response comes through, because remember, in writing and then they're reading it later, the inflection, the tone, you can't joke too much unless you're very clear, and certainly don't use sarcasm because it just won't come through in the writing. Overall, a lot of times we don't have a lot of training in questioning techniques. So here are some ideas that I'll just throw out. And again, this works online. Plan and write out some questions, lower and higher cognitive levels of questions, appropriate for your age and ability of your audience. Anticipate possible responses, and then think through your probing questions or your redirecting questions. Ask a colleague to observe you or seek out some additional resources. All good ways to move forward in this. A note on your students. This is Kathy Cook. I think she's retired now. She was at Wisconsin. And she had this book on smarts, 8 smarts. All of our students are smart in different ways. And it's a really fascinating thing that we kind of know, but we don't always stop and think about it. And when we're abstracted one level by being online, synchronous or asynchronous, we might forget some of these things. The same with diversity and inclusion. We need to think about the whole student. So that's some really good stuff. Definitely worth a read in your spare time, like you have spare time. Here's a great Bloom's taxonomy in peanuts. I'll just fly through this. Knowledge and comprehension. Who was Linus? What did he tell everybody? Let's go to the pumpkin patch. The great pumpkin's coming. And then you're looking at comprehension. The story was about, it tells us the main ideas, the application. How are the Peanuts characters like real people? Why did he go to the pumpkin patch? Can you draw a map on how he got there? And then you start to analyze. How would you react? Compare Linus to a friend. We're starting to get interesting. And finally, the synthesis piece. What are the events in the story? What happened after he went? What happened when the great pumpkin didn't come? So things that can really draw us further in. And then the evaluation. Why were his friends and Sally mad? Do groups of friends have more knowledge than a single person? Now we're getting to metacognitive level. Why would a grown-up write this story for children to read? It gets real interesting really quickly. Okay, your turn. If we were in class, again, synchronously, asynchronously, I would have you post it in the discussion board. What's your best questioning technique to elicit responses? I always like to learn from my students, and this is a great way that you can do this, again, online. All right, a real quick, fun and easy question here. What do you see, think, wonder? Ask these one at a time, and let's have some fun with it. Here's two examples. So what do you see? Ask the students that. Well, I see a horse tied to a chair. What do you think? I think that chair is not going to hold the horse, but what do you wonder? I wonder if the guy who trained the horse to think that anytime it's tied up, it can't move. So it's just a way to dig deeper. The same with this one. This was down in Costa Rica. It was an educational trip. What do you see? Well, if you could zoom in, those are pictures, kind of traditional gender. There's like a skirt on one and a pants on the other figure there. So that's what I see, and it's over a shower. It's an outdoor shower. And I don't see any dividing walls or curtains. So what do I think? I think that's weird. What do I wonder? Who put this here? You could go a lot of places. Anyway, teaching questions. What are some of your favorite? And again, I would pause and ask this if we were online or in person. The key thing to think about is how can you better ask questions to encourage your students to flourish online. If this were an online class, I'd stop the video, I'd assign some quick feedback, that reflection assignment, the minute paper, jot down a couple of key points that resonated, or maybe a different way of writing or of asking a question. Write 2 words, easy, difficult. Then jot down underneath what you might do that's easy from this lesson, and what you're willing to try that might be hard for you. Homework, I can't let you go without some homework. Get outside, even in the rain, because the flowers are coming. Breathe. Imagine your students coming back to campus or coming back to your 4-H programs, your online or your in-person classes and learning soon. Be deliberate about watching for, this one's harder, and listening to questions that people ask. You can learn a lot if you just take that exercise and just do it quietly. It's kind of fun as an observation, and then a way to think about what you might do or how you might ask questions. And then plan some trial questions in various settings. Do it like this week. Listen for the responses. Be attentive and see kind of where that takes you. It's good stuff. Thank you so much. Stay dry, but watch for us to move forward. I'm very excited about the future. We're going to get back to work. We're going to keep working and keep teaching and engaging our students. Thank you so much.